Hey Josh, it's Rob. Just want to show you a couple of things on the boat. First up, just 2 clips on this cover. Come straight off. I normally just dump it in here. It's out of the way. Come around this way. Shoot down here. Under here, that's just your battery switch, so we turn your battery on there. Breaker switch up there, and just tidying up a little bit more of those wiring, mate, as we just put that stereo in. And that's the pump for the autopilot that needs to be changed if you want to do it, but you really don't need to do that. Straight down. Trim the engine down. Okay, so on here, that's your C120, that's your A65. Again, I just generally throw these under the dash. I just chuck them in here. They blow out of the boat, mate, so don't leave them laying around. Power them up, just that's it, and then same with these A65, just let them power up. Rightio, so they're both asking to confirm, so it's okay, and press enter. Okay, so that's the 2 sounders all set up. Okay, if you just go to the big one, so you go to page, and I've already got some pre-selects there. So you've got, that's just your plotter, that's your scanner, it takes a few minutes to warm up, and then you've got your sounder down the bottom. So go back to page, and you've got different options. You got your plotter, you got your scanner, page. You can just go all scanner or all plotter. Now, if you've got your book, you can change those combos to anything you want. Okay, so generally, I just generally use all this for. That's what I do it all on. The second one, the A65, that's just a backup. So I generally just keep that onto the GPS settings. Here's your stereo. Your radio, nothing special about that. That's your standard Raymarine. Okay, we'll just run through the C120 again. Power it up. Okay, takes a few seconds to come on. Okay, it's asking hit OK. Now the scanner's just warming up, so while it's doing that, I'll just go to another page. And that's just all the, that's just here at my place, so it's only 1 metre deep, very shallow. Mate, just a word of warning with this: when you pull it up on the trailer, make sure you turn this thing off. It won't do the transducer any good. It's a kilowatt, it's very powerful. And if you're ever under the boat and you're sort of giving it a rub down, just be careful not to run your hand over it. It gives you a nice whack. Okay, so we'll just go to my multi-page to see if there's... Oh, sorry, we'll just go to the plotter first. Okay, he's just showing... That's why you sort of can't trust chart cards. It's not even showing I'm actually in the river. So the page, we'll go to my multi-page. These are just presets I've got. And so that's obviously the sounder down the bottom. I've got the plotter on the left and the radar on the right. So while that's going, I'll just go to another page, and that's where you can just go totally for that. Let's go to page, and this combo as well, where you've got the plotter and the sounder, the scanner. So I'll just go back to here. So now it's asking me for the scanner. I've just got to hit there, then hit TX. You should see the radar start working now. So you notice the radar also overlays over your plotter, which is really good. Now just see what's happened there. We're getting an alarm that's saying position fix lost, and it's come back on again. That's because I've got such heavy cloud over me, right? So if that ever happens, you just hit acknowledge, and as soon as it comes back on again, it'll immediately just go back to where it was. Okay, so if you ever hear that beeping, just hit acknowledge, and as soon as it gets its signal back, it'll come back on. Okay, starting's pretty easy, even for a cold start. Just turn the key on. You You don't need to prime the bulb, do anything, just wait. So what it does, the engine self-primes. Just wait a few seconds. There we go, it just starts like that. Very easy, very reliable. This is your, that's just your panels there for your nav lights, your spotlight, stern light, radio, etc. That's your second bilge pump. I'll show you, I'll go to that now. That's in the very last hatch, so we'll go to the hatches. Okay, that's your auto bilge, your high water alarm. Generally you really never need to open this hatch. And this one here, your big pump, that's your tuner tube pump, the small one. I'll just use that to, you know, if you get a bit of rain or a bit of water below decks. You can see it's been pouring rain here lately, so we've got a bit of water around. Okay, so just going out those hatches again. That small pump switches on here at the dash. And while we're here, this other one I haven't told you about that, that's the actual handheld autopilot you won't be using. The big pump at the back, that's got a high water and a float switch on it, so that'll work automatically, but if you want to use it manually, it turns on here on the dash, okay? So this one here is for the big pump at the back. You should never really ever have to use that. This one here is for the small pump next to the tuner tube. So that's how you operate your two bilge pumps. Under here in front of your console, that's your oil tank. You've got heaps of room there. These for the two separate fuel tanks. So obviously your bow tank, forward fuel tank, and you got your aft fuel tank. So they're your stopcocks when you want to switch over. That's where I generally keep this hose, and that's what you use for your deck hose. This connects onto your tuner tube pump, which is around here. So that's the hose that comes out of the tuner tube pump. You can hook your deck hose into that, or you can take that connection and hook it up here under the live bait tank, right? So that one hose feeds those three different things. To turn your tuner tube pump on, that's the switch there. So going back to the tuner tube pump, this is the only stopcock in the boat, so stopcock's going to be up. Go back to your switch, pull it down, and in a few minutes you'll have water starting to come out of your tuner tube. Right, while we're waiting for the water to come out of the tuner tubes, you'll see underneath here those two spigots. They plug into when the bait board just lifts straight out. Put it back on me. So I won't do it. This bait board lifts straight out. It's pretty heavy. But you can do it on your own, no worries. And it goes around and it plugs into this. So just put that in your shed. Bait board just goes bam into there. You come up to your lounge. Same deal. You lift your lounge out. It plugs into the two same spigots. There we go. There's your tuner tubes rocking and rolling. So I don't know if you've used tuner tubes before. You know, we use them for Mac tuner here. So you get a Mac tuner, you immediately bridle it up. You stick it in head first with the leader coming out with a snap swivel. And you drive back around. When you find the bait school in, you have your rod ready, and you see a marlin or a billy or something around, you throw it back in and away you go. And hang on to them, mate, because the fish, they don't seem to be that active, but when you get them out, they just go nuts. So just on the spigots, the green spigot is for the lounge, and you can see the one next to it, that's for the bait tank. Sorry, the bait board there. So I said earlier before they use the same spigots, they don't. So that's why these two frames are set at two different sizes. Okay, and you've got one here too for the helm chair. So you can pull it out of the boat, because if it's going to be sitting in the sun, I don't let it leaving in the boat. And it's a, mate, it's the best beer drinking chair to have in your shed. Very impressive. Just with your stereo as well, your sort of white cord here, that's where you can plug your iPhone or your MP3 player into. Now this is the, that's your forward tank, so your bow tank, so that's one I tend to use most because the boat travels better with the fuel up the front, if you've got one tank empty and one full. Same on the other side. That's your aft fuel tank. Got your pop-up cleats. Just put down. They're all drained through here, so if you're wondering what they are, they're all drain holes. Here's this esky, the kill tank, live bait tank. Well, I mean kill tank or your esky. Now that's the original battery box. The second battery box was under the console, so you can see why I pulled it out. There's no battery in there. It's just empty at the moment, but I thought you still might want the box in case you want to put the other. It had an enormous battery in there, but it's just too big. Then we go here under the seat. There's just another really big storage area. There's heaps of room under here. In here, there's all your life jackets. There's heaps of them. Got all your tackle storage up here. Tackle storage here, so there's plenty of room. Just two more things to look at. Just be careful when you trim it up here, when you've got the lounge in, because if you bring it up too far and you turn the engine, you're going to scratch the cowl on the back of the lounge, so just be very careful the way you bring it up. And the other thing is just here, this fuel bulb. Sometimes when you trim it up, it can sit like that pinched, so just be careful. It depends which way you got the motor turned, but just always just pull it out if it's going to be trimmed up for an extended period. I've actually replaced that hose, so you shouldn't have any issues, but just be, you know, if you're going away at sea for a long time and you've trimmed it up, and that's like that, mate, that hose is eventually going to fail, so just keep an eye on that, okay? Okay, with the outriggers, always make sure you got your safety lanyard attached, little D-ring there. So you simply just lift it up, twist out, drops back in. You've got a choice of two here. You can run a tagline for your lures. Well, it just shoots up there and your lure goes out. If you don't want to run the taglines, you can take that off. And here's little live bait clips if you just want to tow some liveys close around to the reef. So it's all pretty simple. When not in use, I'll just put a little half hitch around here. Same deal. When we're finished with them, so you roll them around, put them back in. That easy. And same when you and when I'm not using them, they just lift out and I just store them in the shed. Okay, so you know if you're not going to be using outriggers when you go out to a brolish, you can just run your flat lines and all that. You may not want to take them out all that way. Just leave them at home. Very easy. At your radar dome, 2 spotlights. And that's pretty well about it, mate. So hope you enjoy the boat.
Well, you tried it just for once, found it alright for kicks, but now you find out that it's a habit that sticks, and you're an orgasm addict. You're an orgasm addict. Sneaking in the back door with dirty magazines, so your mother wants to know what all the stains on the jeans, and you're an orgasm addict. You're an orgasm addict. You're getting assault, but you still keep a beating your meat to pulp, and you're an orgasm addict. You're an orgasm addict. You're a Casanova, you're an Ocho Zephyr. Live on a fucking yourself to death. Orgasm addict. You're an orgasm addict. You're making out with school kids, winos and heads of state. You've even made it with a lady who puts a little plastic warnings on the Christmas cakes. Butchers, assistants and bellhops, you've had them all here and there. Children of God and the joy strings, international women with no any hair. Ooh, so well you're asking in an alley and your voice ain't steady. The sex mechanics are off, you're more than ready. You're not